Hey, what's going on everybody? Jason here. Welcome to my channel. Today's video, I'm going to show you all the process I'm going through about possibly purchasing a DR Horton home. I have been looking at this home for a little while and just did decide to put an offer in on it. Got things worked out. Where we're at right now is I just had a home inspection done, so I know probably a lot of y'all are curious about what the home inspector found. I do know DR Horton has a lot of negatives, comments when you look them up on the line, but what I found out is if you actually hire a home inspector and do your due diligence and get a good home inspector, you can alleviate a lot of those issues and potentially get a really good DR Horton built home. Mine is in Alabama, so from what I understand, it's really about all, depending on who they subcontract everything to, whether you're going to get a solid good home or not. I will tell you that there was one big thing my home inspector found that is still potentially could be a deal breaker for me, and I could walk away from this home. But what I'm going to show you today is I'm going to go show you everything on the exterior that he found of the house that needs fixed. And it's mostly cosmetic things, but some of them you're going to be like, why didn't they just fix that in the first place? I also wanted to go check with one of my neighbors because on this street there's only about 3 or 4 houses that are occupied. So I was going to go them and see how they're see if they enjoyed their house or how the experience went. I don't know what's going on, but the house right across from me has a bunch of people there, and I didn't even think that house was sold, so I don't know if I'll walk over there or not. But let's get out and kind of walk through the exterior of the house. So also to kind of tell you what I did on this house, I not only did a home inspection, and when I did a home inspection, I called a bunch of different home inspection folks and asked them, have they inspected DR Horton homes before? And then I also asked them how how thorough they are, how long do they take. And I settled on a guy that told me he usually stays 5 to 6 hours. The guy home inspector was awesome. He actually stayed 6 hours at the house yesterday, and he found so much. Most of it's cosmetic, which DR Horton will fix, but still it's pretty cool that he took that long. That's what you want when you're buying a home. You want to go into it thinking the worst, and hopefully the inspector doesn't find that much. And I stayed here the entire time. I made sure that when he found something, he was like, hey, I found something over here. And I also had a mold test done. Now the mold test, the air quality that they're testing is still going to be sent off, and I hadn't got the results back on that, but the mold guy said everything looks solid on the house from his perspective. And then I'm also doing a radon test, which is why we can't really go inside today, because the radon equipment's inside and they're doing a radon test. But let me get out and see. This must be an open house over here, I'm not real sure, but let me get out and we'll go take a look at the house to give you an idea. This house is 4 bedrooms, 2 baths, about 1,500 square foot, and it does have a 2-car garage, and I'll show it to you here in just a second. All right, I'm having to do a voiceover because the wind was so bad this day you couldn't understand what I was saying. But again, this is a 4-bedroom, 2-bath house, about 1,500 square feet. 2-car garage there on the side, which I really do like. The first issue we're about to come up on is here in the front of the house. If you look right here closely, you can see that there's gaps where the brick meet this little siding, and those should be caulked, and they weren't. We found a bunch of them all along the front of the house. As you can see, there's a bead of caulk sealing the window, but they didn't seal the rest of it. So that'll be something easy DR Horton can go back and fix. Now let's look up top at the trim. You see that little piece of trim hanging off there, another piece over there. That should all be one piece and all look fluid. We'll look at the other side here in a minute. They did the same thing to it, but that just doesn't look good, and it's really just kind of poor craftsmanship there, not going back and fixing that. If you look on this side of the entryway, that is nice and sealed and painted, but let's walk around to the other side. And again, this is one of those things that just don't understand how they walked away and missed this. That's not sealed. You got boards showing, and it's not painted either. So DR Horton, of course, will come back and fix that. But again, these are all things that I didn't notice that my home inspector noticed and pointed out. Okay, so up top here is the same as the other side. If you look, there's these multiple pieces of trim that they kind of patched together. And really, that should all be one piece. It shouldn't look like that. So again, that's something that DR Horton will take care of for me, but it's something that I didn't notice when I first purchased the house. I did have gutters put on my house. That is one thing, DR Horton, they allow you to get either gutters, refrigerator, washer and dryer. I think there's one other thing, but I chose gutters because that was the most expensive item. So I did go ahead and have those put on the house. And I also paid for the blinds. They did my whole house for $1,800. Another issue here is right here under this windowsill. You can see a gap right there. There should be no gaps in your windowsill, so we'll have to get them to seal all that. Again, that's just things to keep your house protected from water. Here's the AC unit. Actually, on the inside, the heat did not work, even though this is a brand new house, brand new unit. The heat did not work, so they will get that fixed. They do already have the termite I forget what you call those, but they have the termite things in the ground. So they've got those all around the house. There's a water spout there. Here on the back, we have a piece of cracked concrete that broke off, and we also have a pretty large crack going through the center. DR Horton will not fix cracks in concrete unless they're over 1/4 of an inch thick. So just something to keep in mind. Here is the back door. So if you look over here on the corner of the roof, there's a shingle that's flipped up. They've actually already fixed that, but the person putting in the gutters caused that to happen, but they have fixed that. If you look over here, this is the reason I love this lot in this house. I have no neighbor right there. No neighbor will ever be able to build right there. And then if you look behind here, there's not a house just directly behind me. If you drive in these DR Horton and large builder neighborhoods, usually you get somebody a few feet behind you and there's your neighbor. This one, you've got a nice grassy area and a decent amount of distance between me and the people behind me, so I do like that. So that was definitely a big feature of this house, was the lot that this one is sitting on. Back here is the subdivision that was built in 2020 that you can see. I'm in phase 3 being built in 2023, so those are about 3 years old back there. I did drive around and ask some of the folks in that neighborhood, had they had any major issues with their house. They all said no. So just another way of me making sure that my house, that the builder who's building these houses are doing a good job. You can't ask too many questions. Also going on Facebook and going into the city that your house is being built in by DR Horton and asking folks who already live there if they've had any issues is another good tip. Here, this just needs to be screwed on. I tried to put it back on, but I couldn't. And when I did my walkthrough the other day, the DR Horton guy said that actually needs to be screwed on to the bottom. It shouldn't be left like that. But really, there's not a whole lot of issues over here on the side of the house. I am going to show you a few things that might be a little unique to mine. Right here, what I'm about to show you is going to be where your sewage and your water and everything come out. This is a holding tank, and when it reaches a certain level, it's grinded up and then they shoot it out to the sewage system for the city. So I thought that was kind of neat. Never actually seen anything like that before. But again, the wind's blowing really bad. It's blowing these little these little plastic things that the water goes into out of the way. All right, so the exterior of the roof was good. There was one thing that needed to be caulked up there that they didn't caulk, and they also didn't sweep off the loose shingles from when they were cutting shingles and laying the roof. As you can see over here, here's some loose shingles, so they'll go ahead and clean that up and get that ready to go. So that is really about everything on the outside. There's one major issue in the attic that we will go over here towards the end of the video. But for now, I'm just showing you a little bit more of the house. But let's switch over to the inside. I've got pictures of the inside from my home inspector, and let's go over the issues that were found there. Okay, here in the garage real quick, as you can see, there's a crack in the concrete. Again, it's not over 1/4 of an inch thick, so DR Horton will not fix that. My understanding with concrete is not if it's cracked, is when it's going to crack, because concrete always does crack. So nothing we can do there. Here you can see where the hot water heater, the copper pipes coming out. They just need to caulk that in. You shouldn't have any open holes like that. But again, something I didn't notice. Now we go into the master bathroom. Just need a little caulk above the light switch. Again, a lot of these are small cosmetic things, but you want them fixed when you're buying a brand new home. You don't want to buy a brand new home and have little things here and there that need to be fixed. The next one is up here in the shower. There's little gaps all around the shower that need to be caulked. Here is a pretty big issue. When you open the master bathroom door, it slams into the glass shower door. And if the glass shower door is open, you have a really big collision there. So what I was told by DR Horton is they actually will not fix that. They just suggest that I get some door stops for the top of the door to keep it from opening that far and crashing into the shower. Another door issue here coming from the garage. Going into that is a bedroom where the door is shut there. The garage door actually hits that bedroom door. So again, just putting a door stop above it to keep it from opening all the way will fix that. Next, this door opens up into the air conditioner, and below the floor there's a huge gap, so they need to fill that in so that doesn't chip off and break. In the master bedroom, the carpet was coming up at the front. That could become a bigger issue as time goes on, but they will fix that and get that carpet down securely. Now we'll go into the washer and dryer. As you can see the dryer vent over here, that vent is actually bent, so they need to replace that whole surrounding. And then over to the right where your hot and cold water goes, as you can see on the floor, the little facing for that has fallen off. And then here's just another picture of that vent being bent, just a better angle. Okay, now on to the potential major issue that the home inspector found. So we're looking in the attic here. Where I'm pointing to here, this is OSB board, and this OSB board up here that's silver is supposed to be nailed securely to this piece of board that you see running across here. And it's nailed from the roof down, or from the top down, and as you can see, they completely missed the board. They missed it in multiple places here, and I'll show you some pictures where they missed it in other places. The problem is my home inspector could not tell me for sure if the people putting the OSB board on the house saw their error and went back and corrected it. So it was kind of up in debate. Let me show you a few more pictures. So here's another one that's more up close. One kind of barely hit over there, and then that other one is like way off. You're not even close to hitting the board. So the concern is that the boards, he said about 25 to 40% of the boards had 4 or 5 nails. Some even had 15 nails that didn't hit the truss right there. And the problem with that is that board is not stable and it's not secure on the roof, because the OSB board goes down and then your roofing shingles go over the top of that. Again, I'm not a builder, so if I'm messing up some of this terminology, I do apologize. So what we had happen, let's take a look at this other one. Here's one. I can see 1, 2, 3, 4 in this picture where they totally missed the truss there. So I informed DR Horton of my concerns. DR Horton did send a framing supervisor out who went up in the attic, claims he pushed up on every single board, because the only way you can figure out if these boards are not secure is by taking like a pry bar and just kind of pushing up on the plywood or OSB board. And if it bounces up and down, you know that it's not secure. And the only way to fix it is they got to rip off the roofing shingles and re-nail that the board back down to the trusses there. He claims they checked every single one and that it was all good. I was going to bring out my own third-party framing inspector to double check and make sure that they weren't just basically lying to me. But unfortunately, I was told by DR Horton that I can bring a home inspector, but I'm not allowed to bring any type of specialist folks because it goes against their corporate policy. I guess, according to DR Horton, if if everything clears to their framing supervisor, then it's good. But there is also a caveat to it too. So if I go ahead and purchase the home and move into this house, and I have a framing specialist that I know go up in the attic and check everything, I can still have it fixed. If he goes up there and he finds boards bouncing around, I can take videos of that. I can call DR Horton and they will fix it, because on my new DR Horton home, I get a 1-year, almost like a bumper to bumper warranty, where they'll fix anything that needs to be fixed beside the appliances. The appliances, you actually register those through the companies they're made through, which mine are Whirlpool. But they will come out and fix any structural or anything that you have. You also get 10 years warranty on any major structural defects. So basically, I'm probably going to go ahead and move forward with my closing on this house, and then I'm going to have a framing supervisor come out, check the roof, make sure that we're good, and if he finds anything, then I'll be filing a claim with DR Horton to get it fixed. So overall, so far, my sales guy's been great. The superintendent on site's been great. Everybody's been super nice to me, answered any questions I had, and I've been very, very happy with the process so far. I'm not happy that I wasn't able to bring out a framing supervisor. I still don't understand that, and that still deters me. I'm going to tell you about a couple other items that we didn't get on the picture in pictures that is currently wrong with the house. Okay, I'll show you a few pictures of the house as I tell you about just a couple other issues that we found that for some reason I could not find the pictures of. One was the bedroom 4, which is very small. I'm going to use it as an office. The the door that opens up to go into the bedroom will only open about 80% of the way because it hits the closet, the drywall of the closet behind it. So they're actually going to have to potentially rip out that entire closet, rebuild it to the size it was supposed to be, and recarpet it, redo everything. But again, that's their mistake. DR Horton is fixing it. The other one, there was some weather strip missing around the front door. You could see gaps of light coming through, and of course, you don't want any type of air coming through. You want that closed up, so they will fix that. But other than that, everything else has been fine. Let me know in the comments if you bought a DR Horton home and what your experience was. Also, if you will, please like, comment, share the video. I would greatly appreciate it. I hope everybody enjoyed this video. I will keep y'all up to date on my journey and let you know how it goes. If I do, I probably am going to buy the house, so I'll let you know 1 month and 6 months later how the house is doing. All right, I hope everybody has a great day. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.